recently you worked yet in another music genre. You did some work with Buddy Guy
Oh yeah,
on his last album, Skin Deep, I think. So, how did that project come into your life?
that was fate too.
Oh yeah.
You know, Becca called, said, "Hey, I got this session. You want to do it?" Yeah, I got there. It was for Buddy Guy. I didn't know. Then the producer was like, "Hey, can you see some of these ad libs?" So it's kind of like a semi duet on a couple of tracks. I said, "Of course."
Wow.
You know, it was just I just happened to be at home at the right time.
So that was that something that you imagined you would do at some point, working with someone like him, or was it a surprise? Or, I mean,
Well, it's like for me, when it's those things like that, it's a gift.
uh-huh.
It's a perk because he's a living legend too.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
So it's a perk when you can do that, and then that's in history forever.
Yeah, definitely. Now, do you have a favorite genre to work in musically?
No, not at all. I love it all.
Mm-hmm.
You know, for my Christmas, I'm working on a soul project right now, Memphis Soul.
Okay.
And, you know, that's like it's like some James Brown, some Aretha 70s, and some Al Green. I'm just going to take it all the way there.
Wow, that sounds great. I know a lot of people will be looking forward to that. So this is something you're going to do independently as well, I guess, right?
Absolutely.
Okay.
And because this is the way to do it.
Yeah.
You know, I did the Christmas project to see if I was capable of pulling it together.
Mm-hmm.
And now that I know I can pull it together, now I can really go out and deal all the stuff that I didn't do with this project, get the support I need, get the blah, 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 whatever it takes to get out there. Thank goodness for the Internet. Thank goodness for the idea that the market changed, because record companies are not interested in signing, you know, middle-aged artists. They're just not. And I understand that it's a young-oriented business. That's the reality. So because of the way the market is now, for people like myself who may have some success or who hasn't, it's open. It's so open. It's like the best time of my life right now.
That's awesome. So can you tell me about anyone that you're working with on this project, production or songwriting-wise, or what kinds of things you're contributing to it?
Well, right now, I'm going to be, you know, songwriter, producer, like I did with the Christmas project.
Okay.
Produced, arranged by, you know, created, blah, blah, blah. And my fiance, David Santos, is a bass player.
Okay.
And he plays bass with John Fogerty and has for years, and he's played with Crosby, Stills and Nash, and he's been with Billy Joel too, yeah. So he started with the Soul project with me before Christmas. So we'll probably end up writing more songs. And if anything, it'll be him being my collaborator.
So is it going to be all original songs, or are there going to be any
covers? All original.
Okay.
All original.
And so you're doing are you going to do the recording for this new project mostly at home in Nashville, or is it going to be like, you know, when you're on the road touring, whenever you can get it in, or?
Well, I think that I will probably do pre-production stuff on the road, and then I'm going to cut with live musicians in Memphis.
Okay. Oh, that'll be great. Yeah, because that's rare to get these days.
And it'll be both. It'll be like, you know, some computer stuff and some, you know, some programming, and it'll be live musicians, because I need it to be a live feel like it was in the 70s.
Yeah.
I need to do that. And so I need the people in the room.
So you want it to be real without totally putting you in debt, basically.
Yeah. Exactly.
Well, because I know, I mean, that's obviously one of the advantages these days of the programming and everything, is that you can record much cheaper, but the downside is that a lot of times you lose that realness, you know, that was what made a lot of the classic soul music so special.
Exactly. And that's what I want to bring to it, authenticity. And, you know, I need that live feel. And, you know, it's a fine line. I believe that, you know, the guys in England, they really figured it out, how to have that old sound and make it so new.
Oh, yeah.
Like they did with Amy Winehouse and Duffy. And so they were able to capture that stuff, but they made it so refreshing. So that's going to be the fine line that I have to create too.
So, have you always maintained Tennessee as your home base? Because I know you were born in Memphis, right?
Right.
And you're based in Nashville now. So, like, throughout your career, has that always been your home base, or have you called other places home as well?
Well, it's always been my home base. Tennessee has, but I did live in Los Angeles for 4 years.
Okay.
And I just moved back. So I've been back to Tennessee for 4 years.
Okay.
4 years ago, I was in Los Angeles.
Okay. So, take me back a little bit to when you were growing up in Memphis. If I'm correct, as far as your musical beginnings, your dad was director of a choir at your church.
Say that again. Sorry.
If I'm correct, when you were growing up, your dad was director of choir at the church?
Oh, yeah. My father was a musical director who also he also taught other choirs. He would do, what do you call that, clinics for other churches. And he would teach techniques and things like that, so I was with him all the time. I was a daddy's girl. And at our church, he was the musical director before he became a minister.
Oh, okay. All right. And other than the choir singing, I know that you had some interesting early professional experiences growing up. For instance, I believe you sang at Liberty Land.
Oh, yes. Yes, I did.
Can you tell me about that? Because I've heard about it off and on, but I really don't know much about it other than what I've read, that is like a war-themed attraction or park.
Yeah, it was one of those parks that they used to have, like Six Flags, Opryland, blah, blah, those kinds of parks where you would have entertainment, and they have like 20-minute shows all over the park, and they had rides and food and stuff like that. So it was a great place to work because, oh my God, you got paid to sing and you were a teenager. I mean, you got paid great money. It was like, wow, this is what entertainment is? Okay. And so, you're a teenager and you're making this money and you're learning work ethics and you're learning how to work with other people and learn choreography and, learn how to work together. And so it was a great experience, it helped your memory. And what used to happen is people would work at Liberty Land and then they would graduate and move on to Opryland, because Opryland had the big shows.
Oh, yeah.
Opryland. So, once you did Liberty Land for a couple of years, you were sure in to get into Opryland.
Okay.
I didn't get that far because I went down another road, but I would have.
So you opted instead. You went to university, right? To what? Oh, to the bars. Oh, okay. Was this around the same time that you went to the University of Memphis?
Yeah, because actually Liberty Land was, I would say, 11th grade and 12th grade.
Okay.
And then I got into the Mid-South Fair, which is in Memphis, and it's a talent contest, a big, huge talent contest. You win like $8,000. You go to L.A., and this was in 1980, so that was a lot of money back then.
Oh, wow, yeah.
And after that, was and then I went to college, went to Memphis State. I went to Memphis State University at the time, studying business and studying music. And then I went to Captain Bilbo's.
Yeah, what is that? I read that on your Facebook. What is that exactly?
Captain Bilbo's is a restaurant. It was a restaurant bar in Memphis, Tennessee.
Okay.
And, they had a top 40 band. You remember in the 80s, late 80s and 90s, I mean, people had 10-piece bands.
Right.
Every club, every restaurant had a band, and it was packed all the time. And, it was a great place to work. And, they even had paid vacations and everything. That was unheard of. Wow. Captain Bilbo's did it.
Wow.
And
even for the musicians, wow.
Yeah, for the musicians, yeah.
Wow.
You would work, you would work 5 days a week.
Wow.
It was awesome, and I stayed there about 3 years.
Wow.
And then after that, I toured with Kevin Page.